Right now at 4, we have some breaking news from the state capitol. It is now a done deal. Governor Ned Lamont is getting what he wants. Today, in fact, the legislature voted to extend the governor's emergency powers. Republicans say this is all an abuse of power. Chief political reporter Susan Raff is live right now at the state capitol with more on why the governor has been pushing for this. Susan?
Mark, Governor Lamont has made it clear all along, and he's been saying that while Connecticut has certainly made progress since the beginning of the pandemic, he says that there's a long way to go and that we cannot let our guard down. Now, keep in mind, most of the emergency orders that were put in place during the pandemic have expired, but the governor wants to put about 11 executive orders in place to deal with things like giving people more access to vaccinations, more sites across the state. Also, he wants to provide more temporary housing for people who lost their homes during the pandemic. As for today's vote, it was really among party lines, some Democrats even siding with Republicans, but all Republicans in the House and Senate voted no.
This isn't a litmus test on how well the governor's done or how well our vaccinations rates are. This is really about are we in a state of emergency that gives the governor the right to act essentially as a lawmaker?
So when you look at the map of the country, about half of the states in the United States are still in what's called an emergency status. But here in the Northeast, only Connecticut and Rhode Island. As for the emergency orders, there are ways for lawmakers to override and veto them. It's a process, but it can be done. So the governor says if that's the case and lawmakers want to go ahead and do that, they can. But at this point, it looks like they want the governor to have the authority to put those orders in place because of the fact that the pandemic and it's still here in some form.
Yeah, obviously, Susan, I would imagine the governor is very pleased with the outcome of this today. What other benefits, I know you've talked about this over the past few days, what other benefits are there to being in this emergency status?
Well, there are benefits. In fact, there's a lot of federal money on the table. For example, we found out today that if a state like Connecticut is in emergency status, they get about $30 million a month, and that's for just things like food assistance. So there is money on the table that the state or the governor and Democrats don't want to lose. But we're also finding out that some states are still able to keep some of those federal dollars and end their emergency status. We'll take a look at that coming up on Eyewitness News at 5 and 6. For now, we're live at the state capitol. Susan Raff, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Susan, thank you very much.